Let's talk about a world we're trying to get away from. A world where a doctor's messy handwriting or a simple typo on a prescription pad could literally be a life or death situation. We're leaving that behind. Today, we're going to lay out the blueprint for what comes next, the new generation of e-prescription software. So if building that critical piece of healthcare's future is on your 2026 roadmap, well, you are in the perfect place.
To really get a handle on the stakes here, we have to start with a problem we're trying to solve. I mean, just think about the sheer chaos of illegible handwriting, a misplaced decimal point on a dosage, or even just a lost piece of paper. According to the WHO, these aren't just little oopsies. They're potential tragedies, and they affect millions of people. This isn't just about making things more convenient. It's about preventing real harm on a huge scale. And whenever there's a problem this big, there's usually a massive opportunity that comes with it. By 2026, the global e-prescribing market, it's on track to blow past $6 billion. To give you some perspective, that's more than the entire GDP of some countries. So no, this isn't some niche tech. It's a fundamental shift in both healthcare and economics. So why the sudden gold rush? What's happening right now? Well, it's really a perfect storm of three powerful forces all hitting at once. First, you've got governments everywhere cracking down on fraud and pushing for digital systems. Second, more and more patients have chronic conditions that need complex medication plans, which are just a nightmare to manage on paper. And finally, there's us. We all demand the same slick, easy experience from our healthcare that we get from our smartphones. The demand is absolutely there.
Okay, so now that we get the why, let's roll up our sleeves and really dig into the what. What's actually under the hood of a modern e-prescription platform? Let's break down that core engine and see what makes it all tick. At its heart, an e-prescription app is basically a digital superhighway. It connects the doctor's office straight to the pharmacy, completely skipping over those winding, pothole-filled back roads of paper prescriptions. It's all about creating a single, secure, and super fast channel for one of the most important functions in all of healthcare. And this just lays out that journey perfectly. It all starts with a simple conversation between a doctor and a patient. Then, with just a few clicks, the doctor creates a digital script and boom, it gets whisked away to the pharmacy in a secure digital package. The pharmacist gets an order that's crystal clear, no guesswork. And a little while later, you get a ping on your phone. Your medication is ready. It's just a beautiful symphony of efficiency and safety. So look, if you're building for 2026, you're not just making another app. You're building a fortress. Your data security has to be rock solid and compliant from day one. Your tools for managing medications need to be razor sharp, flagging potential allergies or drug interactions in a split second. And your platform has to plug into the rest of the healthcare world seamlessly. In today's world of virtual care, telemedicine isn't just a nice-to-have, it's a lifeline. Building that fortress is one thing, but building one that meets all the government's building codes, that's a completely different ballgame. See, in the world of e-prescribing, you don't get to make up the rules. You have to follow a very specific and constantly changing set of blueprints. In the US, the biggest rulebook you need to know is the NCDP script standard. The easiest way to think about it is like a universal translator. It's the one thing that lets a doctor's system, a pharmacy's computer, and an insurance company's database all speak the exact same language. Without it, you just have digital chaos. Now, what's so important here is that this timeline isn't just a history lesson, it's a warning. Compliance in the space is like a moving train, and it's speeding up. The standards are always being updated, and you've got major deadlines coming down the pike in 2025, 2027, and 2028. If you're not building for what's coming next, you're going to be left behind at the station. So how does this language actually work? Well, think of these different messages like plays in a football game. A new RX is the quarterback sending a new prescription over to the pharmacy. A refreak is the pharmacy signaling back to ask for a refill. And a CanRx is the prescriber calling a timeout to cancel a previous order. Each message has a very specific job, and they all work together to move things forward safely and get the job done. And it's not just a script. There's a whole alphabet soup of other regulations you've got to master. You've got HIPAA and healthtech, which are the guardians of patient privacy. Then there's FHIR and USCDI, which are all about making sure different systems can actually talk to each other. And EPCS is the special forces unit that deals with the super high-stakes world of controlled substances. All right, so we've talked about the rules of the road, but what about the car itself? Let's pop the hood and take a look at the engine. What's the best tech to power your e-prescription platform in 2026? Here's a look at what a real dream team of technologies looks like for modern healthcare.
For the part that users actually see and interact with, the front end, we're talking about something like Next.js with TypeScript. That's your sleek, intuitive dashboard. Then, under the hood, for your engine, you've got powerful stuff like Node.js or Nest.js to handle all the heavy lifting. And for the foundation, you want something rock solid like PostgreSQL. It's like the chassis of a tank. It's ready for anything. Okay, so having the blueprints for a dream car is one thing, but actually building it? That's something else entirely. And that brings us to the single most important strategic question that you have to answer before you write a single line of code. You're really at a crossroads here. You can blaze your own trail and build everything from scratch. Now, that's a long, tough road. It's going to be expensive, it's going to take a lot of time, and you're going to have to navigate all that complex regulation by yourself. Or you can hop on a bullet train. You can use a specialized framework that has all these pre-built compliance-ready parts. That gets you to market in weeks, not years, and saves you a ton of money and regulatory headaches. So as we look to the future, what's on the horizon for e-prescribing? What are the big storms coming that we need to be getting ready for right now, today? So here's the deal. The next version of the script standard isn't just a minor tweak, it's a whole new engine. It's bringing in two huge features: mandatory electronic prior authorizations, which will crush a ton of administrative work, and official support for transferring prescriptions for controlled substances. These aren't just small improvements, they are massive leaps forward. And of course, as we dive into the age of AI, we're stepping into a world with amazing new opportunities and some really scary new dangers. This right here is a chilling reminder that the old rules for data security just don't cut it anymore. And AI can be like a digital detective, piecing together clues from data that you thought was anonymous and unmasking patients. That is a HIPAA nightmare just waiting to happen. And all of this brings us to one final crucial question. Building an e-prescription platform in 2026 is like building a spaceship. You can't just use today's technology, you have to engineer for the challenges and the regulations of tomorrow. So as you start your journey, you've got to ask yourself, are you building a horse and buggy, or are you building a rocket ship? Are you building for the past, or are you truly engineering for the future?